Hey there. Good to see you guys. Welcome to the Freedom Forum. And tonight I want to talk about how will you solve your child's academic struggle. And so we know that for some people, school has started already, and for others, it's right around the corner. And if you have a student who has been struggling academically, then you have been thinking about how can I make sure they're successful this year. And so I wanted to come and give you some things to think about. So today I'm going to share 3 keys with you. The first one is when you're thinking about solving your child's academic struggle, you have to clarify some things. So I'm going to make up a word, but just work with me as a way to help you remember. So I'm talking about clarifying. So I'm going to use the word clarifies. So there's something you have to do. You have to figure out, why is your child struggling? Hey, good to see you, Cynthia. Why is your child struggling? Is it maybe their teachers? Is it the learning environment? Is it their peers around them? Are they being bullied? Do they have gaps in their learning? Are they lazy? What is the problem? You have to clarify. You have to figure out what it is exactly, because until you know what it is, the reason for why they struggle, we can't come up with a solution for how to fix it. So, is it lack of consistency? Is it lack of organization at home? What is it? And so if you're trying to figure out why your child is struggling, the first key is to clarify the reason for why. Then the second key is to organize. So this school year, you must decide that you're going to be more organized than you were last year, because there's always levels to it. I was a butterfly. So I just love life and, kind of like a hippie kind of thing. And let's go to the park and, let's have fun. And instead of doing our homework, getting focused. And so I had to really kind of rein that thing in. I had to say, yeah, there's some benefits in being free flowing and, impulsive and enjoying the moment. But when you have a student that's struggling academically, they need organization. You have to organize. You have to figure out, what do you need to do this school year that's going to help your child be able to get to their homework more easily, be able to find their work and turn it in, because sometimes the struggle is not even about them doing the work. Sometimes the struggle is about them getting it turned in. I can remember when we were working with our youngest, our son. I can remember sitting up with him till late at night working on a project. And I mean, we worked on that thing. I helped him, make sure it was done properly. I looked over it and proofed it for him. We packed it up the way the teacher said, got it all ready. And that next morning, I was excited. We got it done. And we get to this class, we get to the group classes, and his teacher approaches me. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she said, Ricky didn't turn his assignment in. What? What do you mean he didn't turn his assignment in? Well, he didn't turn it in. I said, well, we did it. I mean, we were up late getting that thing done, and he didn't turn it in. And so, of course, I go find Ricky. Well, son, what happened? We spent all that energy and time on that project, and you didn't turn it in? I forgot. I left it at home. Organize. And so I had to actually work with him that the night before I did a check off. Okay, do you have this? Do you have your homework for that? Where is it located? Okay, everything's in your backpack. In the morning, checking with him. Okay, let's get the backpack. Let's make sure you have everything you need. And for him, I had to do that all the way up into his high school years. There are some students who will begin to self-manage themselves. They will be independent learners. But then there are other students who you have to continue to give that support to. And, I've had moms say, well, when I was in high school, by the time I was in 10th grade, I blah, 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 whatever it is. And I have to tell that mom, but this is not you. And that as long as you're in denial about where your child is, you don't give them the help they need. So if I'm in 10th grade and I am not good at organizing, then I need a mom who is going to continue to help me with that organizational skill, because I'm going to need it for the rest of my life. And the fact that I'm failing, I'm not turning my work in, I'm forgetting assignments, is a sign that I need help. Not that I'm lazy, although there's some of that may be in there, but it truly means I'm not ready to be on my own yet. And so I can fuss about it. I can say, when I was your age, I could do it. I could say, well, your sister can do it. But the bottom line is, if I want him to be able to do it, I have to continue to provide training until he's able to independently manage. And I will tell you that even though I had to do that, help him all the way through his high school years, he is now one of the most dependable and just responsible young men that you would ever want to meet. And the place where he works, they absolutely love him for his integrity, for his consistency, for his responsibility. And so, no, he didn't get it at 9th grade. He didn't get it at 10th grade. He didn't get it at 11th grade. He didn't even get it at 12th grade. But you know what, Mom? He got it. Really, Cynthia? Your twins are like that? Yeah. So you have to not compare them with anybody else. You just have to say, okay, so this is where you are. Let's work with that. You put incentives in place to help them to, want to do the right thing. But you just keep watching and waiting and supporting until they get it. And they will. They will. So the first step was you have to clarify. So you have to clarify what the problem is. And there may be multiple problems. It may be partially the student not being focused, being a little lazy. It may be the teacher not giving clear instruction, not having an organized class, not having good classroom management. It could be a number of things. And so you have to clarify to make sure you know what the struggle is, because then you can come up with the right solution. And so the second thing was you have to organize. You have to make sure that the environments that student is in are organized. And if they don't have the maturity to do it themselves, then you as the parent have to be willing to step in and help them. Football on their mind. Yes, I've seen that a lot with young men in sports. And I immediately talk with their parents about priorities, because academics must be the first thing. Because if I play football, and we know what, we have a number of students who I coach now who they have scholarships to universities, basketball and football. But what happens if you break your leg? Academics must always be first, because even then after the sports, you still have the ability to be able to get a good job, once you get that degree, and make a living so you can take care of your family. So with young men that are involved in sports, we help them to understand academics matter. And let me tell you, for young men or women who are really good at sports, the NCAA is not playing. Their academic standards have been increasing year by year by year. There are classes that students have to take. If you want to go to a Division I school, there are certain accredited classes you have to already have done by 11th grade, or you will not be able to go. And so it's really important for the student to understand academics must come first. And then the third thing, so we said clarifies, we said organize, and the third thing is prioritize. You cannot do it all. You can't do football and baseball and taekwondo and Boy Scouts and then you're singing the choir, and you go to 2 Bible studies. You just can't do all of that right now. When you have a student who is struggling academically, a lot of other stuff really has to be pushed to the side, because you need to be able to focus, and you only have a short time, because you're going to look up and school years are going to be over, and you'll have time to do some of the things that you want to do, and they'll have time to do some of those other things. But if they're struggling with their academics, I would find one thing that they can do that they love to do. I would allow them to focus in on that, maybe 2, and then the rest of their energy would be on, let's see how we can get creative and get some fun going on in these academics. Let's see how we can get you interested in learning again and wanting to read and do your math. That's what counts. So the 3 keys to making sure your student is not struggling this year is to clarify, to know what the problem is. 2 is to organize, to make sure that their environment is orderly, that you have systems in place to help them if they need that help. There's a place for them to do their homework. There's a system for how you make sure all their stuff is ready in the mornings, so when they walk out the door, they have everything they need. And finally, to prioritize, to recognize that this is a season where you have to get focused on that child and what they need, something that they do well, so that they have a place where they're being successful. And then you have to get focused on the academics, which means there are things that you're just going to have to let go for a while. But it won't be long, because you'll look up. I'm telling you, I've been here. We've done this 3 times. And it is amazing how fast time goes. And so I pray you guys have an amazing night. And I pray that this year that you become very strategic and put things in place to make sure your child succeeds. All right. I love you guys. Good night. Oh, before I go, if you would like to, I don't know if you should take it away, but I think I would definitely use it as incentive. If you want to play football, then this is what your grades have to be. And if you can't keep your grades up here, then the football's going to go. And so how can I help you to make sure your grades stay up? I would sit down with them and put a contract together. I want to see you play football, but football can't be greater or more important than your academics. That's what I would do. So if you guys are interested in attending a class, I'm going to be doing a class in a month or so that gives you more strategies for how to do the things I talked about today. Please feel free to check out a link that I have, and you can get a freemium. It's called 7 School Success Must-Haves, and the link is bit.ly/, there it goes, must have for students. That's bit.ly/must have for students. And when our classes come out, you'll already be on my mailing list. All right, I almost forgot that. I'm trying to get better about that. All right, you guys have a fantastic evening. And thank you, Natalie, for posting that for me. Good night.